Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Yo, it's Classic with the classic codes, man. We got another reaction. Actually, this is episode 1 of a series that I'm starting. And the reason why I'm starting this series, before I get into that, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment as we go along, because we got to crack these codes, man. But the series that I'm starting, man, is called Let Them Crash Out. Let Them Crash Out. This is episode 1 of Let Them Crash Out, man. And the reason why I'm doing this is not to be hurtful, it's to be helpful. But by me being a content creator, you know we got to bring the entertainment. But listen, we have to show the ladies that still have a chance where they will end up if they don't straighten up. Yes, we have to show them, and we have to break it down with a pure perspective, because we know with a lot of modern women, they like for everything to sound good. They like for things to sound good. And what that means is when they're talking, the priority is the wording of what they're saying so they can be perceived a certain way. It's not necessarily about being completely honest, and it's definitely not about being direct. So sometimes when there's a crash out talking, you don't know there's a crash out talking. But here at the Classic Codes, I am honored to bring these crash outs to the light. So today we have a 52 going on 53-year-old successful woman that is chronically single, giving her preferences and requirements. And I'm gonna enjoy this one. Y'all know I ain't about wasting no time. I've been talking too long. Tracee Ellis Ross and Michelle Obama, take us home. The crash out begins now.
Well, the thing is, I stay open. Mm-hmm. I'm probably
way open.
Yes. Oh my God, that sounded so wrong.
I didn't mean that, Mom.
My heart,
your family,
my heart stays open.
Your heart
more open than it should.
Let's go back.
Yeah, that was
hard. Because listen, y'all, when a crash dummy is talking, you got to analyze. Let's look at how this starts. She do what now?
Well, the thing is, I stay open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably
way open.
Yes. Oh my God, that sounded so wrong.
I didn't mean that, Mom.
My heart,
your family,
my heart stays open.
Your heart
more open than it should. Yes. That was right.
Right.
More open than it should be. But I do date, and it's a fascinating adventure out there. You know, mostly though, I think there's really good men out there. I think to a certain extent, I'm a very unique sort of unicorn of a woman. And so it's going to take a unique person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are here to break down the crash out, right? So she says she does believe there are good men out there. We agree. We know. But then she goes on to explain her chronic singleness by saying she's a unicorn of a woman. Translation: unfit for long-term companionship. Yeah. Everybody's unique if they're being themselves. We are all one of one if we're being ourselves. So everybody's a unicorn. Everybody's unique. You had to beat 10 million soldiers to the egg just to be here. You understand me? So we're gonna translate the bullshit and look at how this crash out is crashing out. You 52 going on 53. Highly successful in your industry, and there isn't a man that you've come across in 5 decades that wanted to lock you in, and you saw him fit to be the one that you say yes to. You're not winning, you're losing, and you're losing right in front of us. Let the crash continue.
And in the meantime, I've really learned how to live my life and enjoy it and not sit around waiting. I was saying to someone.
Translation: slowly but surely and progressively run up the body count. Doing dicks. Continue.
Someone recently that I'm one of the first generations of choice, and it's not anymore, which really, there was a window and that has shifted. And I do think that that's going to change dating for women so much.
When you mean you've been the sort of the product of choice.
Yeah, like the assumption of Roe v. Wade and the ability for a woman to find her own delight.
Are we talking about skirter? Rhymes with skirter, starts with an M. Are we talking about that? Are we just going to casually bring that up? Choice. So that means you can go out here, be intimately irresponsible, get inseminated. I'm trying to use all the right words so I don't get flagged. And then because you got these laws in place, you can go put that vacuum on the little one. Just suck the little one right up out of there. Just choice. Just choice. Let the crash continue.
And pleasure and choice around how she navigates dating or how one would navigate dating. And we're in a different world now.
Right,
and I'm curious what that will look like. It frightens me.
What it looks like is the STI rates in Houston. That's what it looks like. What it looks like is Black people being stagnant at a 13% population portion because we putting vacuums on the little ones and we got unlimited broken households. That's what it looks like with all these choice that she speaks of. Let the crash continue.
For younger girls, because of many reasons, obviously, but even with the systemic protection of Roe v. Wade, I still was coming up against the cultural norms.
Yeah.
Who's going to protect the babies? The systemic protection of Roe v. Wade, who's going to protect the babies? Yeah, y'all putting the vacuum on the babies. Who's going to protect them? And what are y'all doing with the DNA of all these embryos? Let's talk about it. No, let's not. Let the crash continue.
Of being a choiceful woman and owning my own body and my own choices and what it is that I'm looking for in a relationship and the ability to negotiate in a relationship what it is you want the relationship to be between the two of you, as opposed to what society says it should be.
Well,
and that's different.
I don't know that we're going to lose that. I think women, we're used to having a say in our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the whole movement is about sort of reharnessing us, whether is it really about,
and can that really work?
Rights? Can that really work now that women?
I don't get it. Fellas, how many times y'all been dealing with a female and they can't even decide what the hell they want to eat? But y'all want all these other choices. You can't even decide what you want to eat. It's clear that choices need to be made for you oftentimes. You're very indecisive creatures, but you're fighting for the right to decide. And now look what shit look like outside. No. The proof is in the results. The more rights women get, the more society been low-key going to shit. And I ain't saying we need to go back to women having no rights. I'm saying there's a level of overcompensation. The super old way of things was oppressive to women. That's agreeable. It was like borderline slavery, right? But then where we're at now, it's far too much rope. Far too much rope. Yeah. And the proof is in the results. Don't argue with me. Argue with the numbers. Argue with the divorce rates. Argue with the number and the percentage of who files them. Argue with the fact that it's 1 million videos on YouTube right now saying that men are no longer approaching y'all because the return on the investment has gone to shit. But I make these videos to be honest about it so that hopefully some women can look at it and be like, you know what? Folks got a point. And I want the results, so I'm going to make some changes. But we got to first, step one is the hardest one. Be honest about it. Let the crash continue.
And are educated and we're being raised differently. I mean, the truth is that fathers are modernized.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
mostly
they are, and if you were to ask the average man, how are you raising your daughter? Because you love her. The average father that loves their daughter wants them to be excellent, and they want them to have opportunity and freedom. When you think about you don't want your daughter saddled marrying some guy that chose her because he just didn't think about anything else
and who believes that her body is his choice.
Exactly. So I don't think a lot of leaders are thinking about that. You know?
Well, and they haven't been asked to.
I mean, this is the language of a woman who's not a wife. When you listen to these women speak, Michelle don't even be sounding like a wife. And when you look at some of the snippets of her podcast, she spend 20 minutes on every episode shitting on Barack politically correctly and shit, nice and nasty. I've been in corporate America. I know how to type up an email to curse you out without cursing you out. She spent 20 minutes every episode shitting on Barack. But when I listen to Tracee talk, she sound like a woman who don't have a man. No disrespect. It just is what it is. Am I wrong? She's not married. She's closer to the end than the beginning, and she still ain't got nobody running around here talking about her choices. You are cooking with a nasty recipe. It just is what it is. What you talking about don't breed you the results that you're looking for. It just is what it is. Let the crash continue.
because I think it's not always a context that if it's an area that you don't have to think into,
right?
But I think there is, it is a genuine, regular thought process for me. It's one of the reasons, I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because—
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracee's.
It's fun. It's very fun to share.
Tracee tales.
Why you 50 and still dating? There's nothing funny here. You 50 still dating. You're not widowed. You're not widowed. You 50 still dating. You know what I'm saying? This is an example of a generational curse that needs to be broken. Wasn't Diana Ross married like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times? When she met, like, you gotta break these curses, man. You have a sustainability issue, man. And instead you're looking at it like, oh, well, you know, I haven't run into the right person, or, you know, I'm going to let the stars guide me and all this other bullshit. You have a sustainability issue. You don't have a connectivity issue. A lot of dudes want you for that onion back there. But I don't even know if that's sitting right no more. You 50. You 50. The onion don't even get you the options it used to get you. You 50. Like, why you ain't been sat down? You supposed to been sat down, folks. Now, for a man, it's different. Y'all don't like that, though. Y'all don't like that. But we didn't design this shit. Most of y'all beefing with God. God designed this. God designed this. Y'all be mad at men for men's nature. God designed this. You mad at God. Don't be mad at us. We didn't design this shit. We did not make ourselves the leader. The creator did. The creator did. So take it to God. Let the crash continue.
But
I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Because I want a partner. And so often, and it's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I have to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession, or whatever those things were, or prize, I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
I'm sorry.
No,
Craig.
I was going to say, it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously,
Too big of a
it's a
generalization.
generalization. But because I have dated men my age.
Yeah.
Hey, when you 52 going on 53 and you done spent all this time dating, how many bodies on that? How many bodies come with that? 5 decades? How many bodies come with that? Not saying she's been sexually active since birth, but she got to be 3 decades in. She probably started in her 20s. Some people be starting in their late teens. She's 30 years into the game. How many bodies on that, folks? She dated younger, she dated older, she tried this, she tried that, she tried this, she tried. How many bodies on that, folks? How much spiritual entanglement is on that by now? But you running around here with this delusion in your mind because of the type of people you sitting at the table with, that's going to enable your thought processes that are not going to breed you the results. You run around with this delusion in your mind of a level of value that your years of your highest value are behind you. That is the reality. If you can focus on the fact that that's the case, you can level set your expectations. You can level set your preferences. You can level set all of those things. You still could end up with somebody out here. Now you out here trying to date younger men like you are older. You trying to date younger men like you are older man looking for a younger woman because you feel like they're mentally more pliable. Sister, you are the brother. And it is why you are chronically single. Let the crash continue.
There is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that there's times where I'll be, sitting across the table from somebody and just like.
Why that matter to you? Why that matter to you? What you into? Why that matter to you? Weird shit going on. Just weird shit going on. Why that matter to her?
Like, what did you just say?
Yeah, what century are you?
Like, oh my God.
Where's your horse and buggy?
Yeah, like, I'm so sorry.
And your bedpan.
Yeah, for real.
Chamber pot.
Yeah, your chamber pot. Like, where I'm just like, yeah, this is not a match.
Yeah.
And I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up. that I'm not interested in. So, but it's interesting. I mean, there's so many different philosophies on dating, and I have come up with mine. I have come up with what works for me and what makes sense for me and what feels safe for me.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like I'm not on dating apps. I have friends that have great success with dating apps, but that's just not something I'm comfortable with.
So you're meeting folks in the wild then?
That's the only way for me. Or someone sets me up, or I meet them at an event. I meet someone. It's usually people that also have a level of recognition that they, you know, have as much to lose as me to a certain extent. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had great luck lately, but I do have to say I'm moving up on what it is.
She's 53 and she's moving upwards in
natural born crash dummy, and he go crash out. He go crash out.
You understand? That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. You know what I haven't heard? You know what I've heard? I've heard Roe v. Wade, right? Put the vacuum on the babies. I've heard pro LGBTQ is necessary in her potential companion. I've heard discussion about multiple dating experiences. Multiple dating experiences. I haven't heard nothing about celibacy. Yeah. If you're not committed in a serious situation that you actually feel is heading towards marriage, and for some reason it didn't happen to make it there, but if you're not in a serious lockdown situation like that, why you fucking? Yeah, and we know you getting hit because you brought the first thing came out your mouth before you even talked about all the other shit was the freedoms of the law. So how many times you been up there to the place to put that Swiffer jet on there to suck that joint right up out of there, huh? I hope y'all listening, bro, and that's why I'm doing this video to translate, because it's a lot of men, unfortunately, simps and otherwise, that when they hear women talk, they literally they don't know how to filter out how much malarkey is in there. So you need a dude like me to go by this shit sentence by sentence and let you know what she's actually saying. She's saying a whole bunch of fucked up stuff that she wants to sound not as fucked up as it is. The fact that her friends, though, this is the real problem. The fact that her people sitting across the table from her and they not being like, shorty, you've been attractive to a nice populace of men for the better part of like 25 years. At this point, if you haven't locked nothing in, it's on you. Like, if you love your friends, talk to them like that. Shit on you. All that what you talking about and all that it ain't nobody sitting across from you that's gonna tell you the nigga you looking for don't even exist for real. And if he do exist, he gonna come in some packaging that you don't like at all. You feel me?
Is that I'm looking for as a match. Yeah. I've had some doozies. Yeah.
But it's just, I just love watching your life because you were modeling so many things, the next phase, how many versions of ourselves we can become at all ages in life, you know, and how to build the life you want.
Yes.
Not the life that somebody told you you were supposed to have. And let me tell you, I told you this about the girls, and Tracee, just like, you know, she mentors the girls. She's always there for them, but trying to make sure that I am not subconsciously sending them these messages about what their life should look like. Even like when you ask, are you dating anyone? I mean, that's something that we ask young people in their 20s, you know, the whole thing about weddings, you know.
We talk a lot about that.
Yeah, it's just like the pre-proposal and the bachelorette and the pre-honeymoon and then the 3 wedding dresses and you know, have you thought about
the amount of money,
your 32 list items of who you want to marry, or are you more busy picking out your photographer?
Yeah, it's interesting, that whole, I hope that is starting to dissipate culturally.
So.
I really do. I think social media is perpetuating some of those things in a really big way. But I did dream of my wedding growing up. And that's not to say that I didn't dream of the bigness of my life, but I could have spent a lot more time dreaming of my life. And you know, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, you know, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship. So even though the grief does emerge and that comes and I hold that, I think of what I've done. And I think of, I woke up every morning trying to do my best. I didn't wake up one morning and be like, I'm gonna mess this day up.
That's right.
So I must be where I'm supposed to be. And I don't know, sometimes I think of all of the things I've done, the courage that I've had to have and what I've had to learn how to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind.
Yeah.
And it's built a really beautiful experience around me. And I have incredible friends.
You do.
No, you don't. All right, so we off this one, y'all. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have incredible friends, because your incredible friends have not told you the truth about the accountability you need to take if you truly desire somebody to spend the rest of your remaining years with. Again, some people can't handle the truth, and maybe that's why their friends don't tell them, because they tried before. But this crash out right here, this is despicable. And then you see why they crashing out, because they have a cheer section for the crash out. Yeah, drive into that wall. Yeah. It's despicable work. But man, we finna get off this one, man. We have broken down, identified, and pointed out the crash. Ladies, if you see this, just don't end up like this. Don't end up like this. Listen, if whatever it is in the way, get it out the way. If you operate in your masculinity, I don't care if you got to go take some etiquette courses. I don't care if you got to go get you a coach from a woman that's been married 30, 40 years and going to guide you on how to just reshape your mentality if you planning on sustaining with a man. Because again, I emphasize on my content, we don't have connectivity issues. Look at the amount of babies running around here. Well, at least the ones that get to make it, because the freedom, right? But we have a lot of babies running around here that don't got, both their parents and stuff like that. And so at least at this point, we can try to resolve some of that by structuring the households back up, whatever that looks like. And I think it's going to take a shaping of the perspective and the mind first in order to get started in the physical space. But yeah, man, we off this one. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop some comments whether you agree or disagree. And if you don't do nothing else, man, stick to the codes. Classic
codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden the flow.